Today is the most important day. Mauricio Pochettino bet big that the 2025 Gold Cup can shift the USMNT's culture. Will it pay off? From the outside, playing the Gold Cup with a depleted roster could seem wasteful, but the USMNT coach sees upside. It's been 9 months to the day since Mauricio Pochettino's introductory news conference. On that day, he didn't go too deep into specifics. There were no positional or tactical breakdowns. There were few names mentioned. The focus, by and large, was on the big picture and, more specifically, on one critical word: culture. Pochettino said that word 5 times over the course of one single answer. He said the U.S. men's national team's culture would be one of winning and competing, and that culture would permeate through every camp, be it a friendly or a tournament or the 2026 World Cup itself. "I think the most important thing is to create something special," he said back in September, "to feel something when you arrive to the national team. It's not that the players come, and not just because you get called in we are going to play. No, we are going to compete, and to compete is completely different than to play." All these months later, the message has largely stayed the same. Unfortunately for Pochettino and U.S. soccer, the mood around the team has changed. The USMNT limp into this summer's Gold Cup shorthanded and, more importantly, on something of a low. They've lost 4 straight matches, all at home, the first time that's happened since 1988 and, to put it into Pochettino's own words, have done a lot more playing than competing in recent months. It's at least partially due to circumstances. Recent friendly defeats against Turkey and Switzerland came amid a flood of player absences, with Christian Pulisic's controversial decision to rest this summer the most notable. As the dominoes continued to fall on that front, Pochettino's summer plans pivoted, turning this Gold Cup run into a trial by fire for many of those on the fringes. This summer could have been a trophy run to build momentum 1 year out from the World Cup. Instead, it's turned into something with far more risk. While many of the stars sit on the sidelines, some due to injury and recovery, others due to Club World Cup commitments, Pochettino's aim for this summer has shifted. The hope is that this younger, hungrier group steps in, shows some fight, and reminds those watching from home of what it means to play for the national team. The idea is that they set a tone that carries on through. The plan is that they make some regulars more uncomfortable, and that sets a competitive edge heading into the home stretch of this World Cup cycle. But, in order for Pochettino's plan to work, those players need to succeed. The Gold Cup kicks off for the USMNT against Trinidad and Tobago Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time in San Jose, and at this point, that success is far from guaranteed. The inexperience cannot be understated. Over the 2 pre-Gold Cup friendlies, 20 different players got starts, with 12 of those 24 and younger. Moreover, 11 starters over the 2 matches had 5 or fewer caps coming into camp, and 6 got their first: Sebastian Berhalter, Matt Freese, Alex Freeman, Nathan Harriel, Quinn Sullivan, and Damian Downs. Is this USMNT group good enough to really challenge the established group? What culture shift can this summer generate? And realistically, can this team compete for a Gold Cup? We'll find out those answers over the next few weeks. Those answers are more crucial than many realize. Pochettino hasn't directly said it himself, but he hasn't had to. The results have spoken for themselves. Heading into the Gold Cup, the USMNT has now lost 4 consecutive matches. That losing streak was preceded by the Copa America disaster in 2024 that ultimately got Pochettino this gig in the first place. Over the last year, something has been very, very wrong with the USMNT, and Pochettino is the man tasked with fixing it. Pochettino's record since taking over the team last year is a pedestrian 5-5, and he is the first USMNT coach to lose 5 of his first 10 since Lothar Osiander from 1986 to 88. Thus far, his tenure has produced more questions than answers. It's also resulted in something of a step back off the field. Ahead of this summer's slate, Pochettino fired what appeared to be a veiled shot at those in the squad feeling most comfortable. If you arrive at the camp and you want to have a nice time, play golf, go for a dinner, visit my family, visit my friend, that is the culture that we want to create? Pochettino said. No. What we want to do is to go to the national team, arrive and be focused and spend all my focus and energy in the national team. If we want to be good in 1 year's time, we need to think that today is the most important day.